Damn it.
What?
It's cut.
Okay, yeah.
Damn it. Yeah.
Hi,
Hey everyone.
yeah, we have just to set the...
Just to fix.
Okay, yeah, it's perfect.
Yeah. Sorry for that.
Yeah, not like my hair.
Okay. Once again, hello everyone. I'm Chris.
Fabio.
You never get there.
Always too focus on other stuff, but yes, hi,
Yeah.
Fabio.
Thank you for joining in our DIGITLZ talk for today. Our today's topics will be, maybe you want to start with your topics?
Yes, also we will start with the new Intel processor. It went out the 10th generation, so we will talk more, a little bit about the architecture and what's new in these processors. Then the new SD card version 8 was announced, so it's more the spec. Yes, then
we will also talk about how it's like to use a 2017 iPad Pro 10.5 inch in 2020, because I think it's a very powerful device for its age. And also we will talk about the new Surface Pro headphones and earbuds. The reviews for them are in and they're quite okay.
Yes. So also before we start with our topics, we will just update with some news about what we said in some of the last talks.
Yeah.
Also last week we talked about the X-ray vision of the OnePlus 8 Pro, and this new feature on the camera opened some issue on the people, so they are concerned about privacy somehow.
Exactly.
So now OnePlus had to deactivate this feature. Also it's still active, but next week or next week it will be disabled. So yeah, with the main camera you cannot anymore use the X-ray vision.
I think it's a bummer.
Yes.
It's actually a funny feature. I mean, I had a complaint on Twitter actually from someone. I posted this issue, and some guy said that you might look through clothes, and I said yes, on very thin clothes, and he said, well, go to the beach. Then I'm like,
I don't think, because
I mean, still
the beach use different type of clothes.
Yeah, it's pretty thick.
Yes.
So it's at least 2 layers. So I don't think that you will really see through that.
It works only just if also on this t-shirt it won't work, I think.
Maybe I think it will work.
I don't know.
It
depends on the material of the t-shirt. So yeah.
And even if you can look through it, you will almost not see what it is. You really need, like Unbox Therapy. He had this picture of the iPhone SE lip box sticking out like this. Then of course you were recognizing everything, but
a bit not so
a little
clear.
bit, yeah.
But I think maybe there gonna be other app that can do this. Also they deactivated it from the main camera app that's on the device. So let's see.
I think it was just to play around.
Yeah. But
everyone was excited because you can see it different than you can see it with your eyes. Yeah. I mean, this is cool.
It's sad, but okay.
Yeah.
Then we talked 2 weeks ago, if I'm right, that the chipset B450 and X47 of the AMD motherboards are not going to support the Zen 3 CPU, but a lot of people talked about this and were mad about this. So AMD said, yes, okay, we can make it work, but it's not out of the box, so you have to use some beta or other BIOS that you have to install. So this BIOS is provided from the motherboard company. Yes, there are then 2 problems. You have to do it manually. Also, you have to do a BIOS update. And it's always, you have to be careful when you do a BIOS update. It's not that, it's simple, but it could go wrong something, so be careful. Yes, then it will be disable the support of other CPUs. So if you change BIOS, other CPUs are not more supported on that motherboard. So it's gonna be hard if you want to resell it. So it's an upgrade on that. and you can lose the capability of backflashing. So if you install the new BIOS, probably, not sure about that, as it's that what MD said, that you cannot go back on the previous BIOS. Something like that happened already before with Zen 2, sorry. But it worked quite well, so
Yeah.
the CPUs had support, like 4 or 5 new version of the BIOS, but we will see with this situation how it will go. So but I mean, you can do it. Also, you can use your old motherboard with the new Zen CPUs, and it's, I mean, good that AMD allows that. No, the problem, it's more a problem of the motherboards manufacturers than AMD, but yes, also, if you want to do it, you can do it. Okay.
So,
Also,
I think then we can start with our first topic.
Yes.
New 10th gen Intel processors.
Right. Also, there have been released 17 new models for Core i9, i7, i5, and i3. All of them supports hyperthreading, so that's really cool for i3
Yeah,
processors,
that's really cool.
because you can buy low performance CPUs at lower price, but they should be quite good because you have 4 cores and 8 threads. That's huge for i3. And so also the i9 will have 10 cores, 20 threads. The i7 8 core, 16 threads, i5 6 cores, 16 threads, and how we said i3 4 cores, 8 threads. And
that's really cool actually.
Yeah,
now you really have those scaffolding. How's in English? Yeah, you have those 4 types. You have 3, 4, 6, 8, or 10.
Yes.
Now it's really.
You can.
Before that, it was like.
8 or 4.
Yeah.
But that's it.
Oh, there was someone commenting something.
Hi, Emma. And also for the prices, I saw that the some prices around $500 US dollars for the i9, but it was a price for without IVA. It's what IVA? Taxes.
Yeah.
Okay, let's say taxes, without taxes, and on a stock price of 1,000 units. So if you buy 1,000 units, the
I
price
always buy 1,000 units.
Yeah, that was the price that I saw. So yeah, it would be I guess 600 without taxes, maybe a little bit more. I know, just guessing.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be cheap, but not so expensive as the last one. We will see, because they cannot go so high prices because they're directly concurring with AMD, and the difference of performance it's not so different. So they have to be low with the prices. Okay, then there is a difference for the support of the DDR4. The i9 supports now 2933 megahertz instead of 2666 megahertz.
Isn't there already much more available?
Yeah,
I heard of 10 nanometers ultrabook processors, which went up to 3,700 something.
Yes, I mean that's that they.
I really expected
specs,
that to be more.
But you can use more. I don't know exactly how it works, but yes, you can. There are DDR4 that you can that are 3,000 or also 4,000, but it depends more on the motherboard than the CPU.
Okay, understood.
So that's what the CPU supports always. So it depends on them and also on the motherboard. The i7 supports now DDR4 2933 instead of 2066.
Should we show that, maybe?
Yeah, okay, yes. It's easier, maybe, because spelling out and stuff it's not so easy.
This is our script that you see right now.
So, okay, so yeah, you see also the i3 has boost in performance for that. It's 266 instead of 2400 megahertz. And yes, for the TPD we see that there's a huge increment on that side, because the previous generation was
i3, you mean?
no, for all of them. I mean, the i9 or the i7 was 9050 TPD,
95, yeah.
and now it's 125. So, but that's the TDP that it's using when it's quiet. I mean, how can I say it, in normal mode? You can also reactivate.
Boring mode.
Yeah, boring mode. Okay. Then it can boost with the frequency, with the turbo boost up to 250 for the i9 or 230-40 for the i7 and so on. There's some naming convention, just to say. The K means that the multiplayer is unlocked. The F means that the integrated GPU is deactivated. So
that is still the same, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the same, but just to say, if you see KF, it's that the multiplier is unlocked, and then there is no GPU integrated. If there is no naming, that's no multiplier, and the graphic cards is there. Okay, then you need a new socket, as usually happens.
I heard about this because of power.
Yes, because the how it's called, the heater. Wait, I have it written somewhere. The die. Okay, the die is thinner, so I think because it allows a bigger EHS, so that there is less problems with the heat.
They want to distribute the heat quicker.
Yes, and with a higher EHS, it's easier. So from the last generation, they started using again the EHS instead of the how it's called, the
die.
No, they used before
the thermal paste.
Yes, between the die and the processor, and that was not so optimal.
Yeah,
so it was shitty stuff. I don't know why.
There were some i7 and i9 CPUs.
No, a lot of CPUs used that. So before the last generation, it was all CPUs had that stuff. Maybe
that's why you have this delitting possibility. There is some German guy who invented special devices where you can put your CPU, screw it in, and then you can delit it.
Yes,
so you can remove the IHS, so you can put another thermal and better thermal paste then.
I mean,
but
it was crazy.
But Intel is already better at that.
Yeah, I mean,
they have to with that TDP.
Yes, of course, because it would be a disaster. Because now the turbo boost work also on how the heat of the CPU is, but we will get on that. So yes, also for this new CPU, we need a new socket. It's the socket 1200 and with a chiplet series of 400. This CPU doesn't support PCI Express 4.0 as AMD does, but the motherboard
don't support 4.0.
No.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, it's quite
Welcome
expensive.
to the future, not.
Yeah, so AMD have done it, but it was quite expensive. The motherboard was more expensive and stuff. So yes, it's a little bit a bummer, but you don't use it so much there. 4.0.
That will come.
Yeah. So the next generation they will gonna use 4.0. So next year also Intel will have, after 2 years, the PCI Express 4.0. Yes, but the motherboards that are coming out now with this socket are gonna to support PCI Express 4.0. But yeah, you cannot use it because the CPU doesn't support them, but it's more like a ready function for the next generation. So if you buy the motherboards now and the next year the new CPUs use PCI Express 4.0, you already have a motherboard that works.
Okay.
So that's a good stuff that they have done. Okay, then they have introduced two new turbo boosts. There is the turbo boost 2.0. Now there is the turbo boost max technology 3.0.
Okay.
And there is the thermal velocity boost. The turbo boost max technology 3, also turbo boost 3.0, have some improvements, some new algorithms, and it retrieves information from the CPU and it detects which course is the fastest, and it sends the workload on this CPU so that this workload can be done faster.
So it's testing each core itself?
I don't
and
know
testing
how
which one is the most stable one? Or?
It's not the most stable one, it's the most faster. So because each core has a different frequency, so they work always in different frequencies. So Windows, also the OS, works with the CPU and says, okay, which is the one that's faster right now?
Yes.
It detects two of them, and so that the CPU, that the software will send the workload on these two cores, and this will improve a little bit of speed. But you need one of the latest updates of Windows. That's the Windows version 19.09, because the Windows have implemented these functions.
So what about Apple?
Yeah, I don't know if they integrate it, but yeah.
Apple will probably do that.
Yeah,
something like that as well at some point.
If they have some computers,
I mean,
will use
Apple is always having their own show with Intel. So
yeah, so if they are not gonna use these CPUs, then of course they will integrate it as well. But for the moment, there is no Apple device that will use this.
But it's cool to see that they try to do something with software or some other system algorithm for improvement, because that's what they have to do.
Yeah,
they have no other chance.
They have working on this to boost like a long time now, and they have improving that. Yeah. Then they have implemented also the thermal velocity boost that lets you gain 100 hertz of 100 megahertz for each core. Also, so you can have a total of 4.8 megahertz for all cores, but also for the true facet cores you can gain another 100 megahertz, so you can achieve on two cores 5.3 megahertz. Gigahertz, sorry. So yes, the new stuff with the frequency is quite complicated, because for some function, also this function thermal velocity boost, it works only if the CPU is under 70 degrees. So if it's above that, it doesn't, it will not be applied. Only if the CPU is under this temperature. Okay, degrees. Let's say degrees. So
I heard about this temperature limitation that where you have to be below so you can reach that point.
Yes,
I heard it was with the MacBook Pros as well. They had a 5 gigahertz maximum.
Yep.
But you can only reach this under special circumstances.
Yep.
And I think it's like, MacBook Pro firmness, good luck reaching that 70 degrees.
It's quite impossible with the MacBook Pro.
How? I mean, this at that point it's only marketing. For those desktop CPUs, I think it will be really good possible.
Yes,
if you have a good thermal solution.
I saw some benchmarks with some really good air. How is it called again?
Thermal paste?
No.
Cooler.
Sorry, air cooler. Like the Noxua, as they're really good, and you can achieve this boost. And then I saw someone with the lower budget cooler. It's a little bit tough, but
it's at least possible.
Yeah, it's possible.
For laptops, I think this is so unnecessary. If you have this, it can reach 5.2 gigahertz, but only that.
Yeah, no.
Laptops are not really thermal friendly.
It's really difficult to have cold CPUs on laptops. Yeah. But on desktop, if you have a big tower, if you have good airflow system, if you have a good cooler, you can be under 70 degrees, so you can reach 5.3 gigahertz. Yes, then also just to be, we can show this.
What are the benchmarks?
No, it's not benchmark, this one. No, that's just here, this one. So each CPU has a power limit 1 and power limit 2. The power limit 1 is always the TDP of the CPU, power limit 2 it depends. On the i9 it's the double of it, on the Core i7 it's a little bit lower than the double, and the i5 goes to 182. So what this means is these CPUs can reach this TDP for give you best performances, but it can just last for some time. There is this tau. This tau is turbo time parameter, and it lasts 56 seconds on these three CPUs, so you can have a boost up to 250 watt for 56 seconds. But the cool stuff that these are just what Intel says as recommended, but the motherboard manufacturer can modify this power limit 1, 2 and this tau. So they can be longer and better, so you can also have a power limit of 300 or 300 and more, I don't know. So you can gain performances based on which motherboard you have. And some motherboard manufacturer could also give the possibility to the user to decide how much is the power limit 2 and how much is the tau. So yeah, that's neat stuff, so you can play with your CPU and try to gain the best performances. Okay, yeah, we said before that the die is thinner now, so we have a huger EHS that
bigger.
Yes, improves the thermal performances.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, then they have added some functions. You can disable hyperthreading pro core, so you can decide 5 cores have hyperthreading, 3 not. I hope I understand this well, because it's really nice. I mean, you can decide.
They added a lot of customization
Yes.
for the CPU itself.
Then you can also, I don't know what this is actually, because I'm not an expert of overclocking, but you can overclock the PEG, that's the PCI Express graphic, and the DMI, Direct Media Interface. So I actually don't know what these are, but you can also, it gives you the possibility to overclock different stuff, and you need to play with that. And yeah, that's really funny. There are a lot of overclockers around the world that have fun with overclocking. So with this new CPU, they can have real fun. Yeah.
So, and in order to resume for this, it's a lot of improvement.
Yes. Also, they are still on 14 nanometers. AMD is on 7 millimeters. Nanometers, right?
Millimeters.
Nanometers, and also the performance are quite similar. For gaming, it's better Intel, but if you play on 2K, the difference is really minimal. Also, you don't see any difference. For some games, just 2-3 FPS, so it's marginal. If you play on 1080p, yes, then you can have boost performances on using an Intel graphic card. An Intel CPU. Overall, the performances between Intel and AMD are really similar. So if you need something more for working and where you need more threads and cores, you go with AMD. If you need just for gaming or software that needs core performances, you go with Intel. So it depends more on what you do. But the funny part is now AMD is slightly better with performances overall.
Efficiency.
I mean, just performances.
Yeah, but that's efficiency. That's how much you get
with the power.
The power.
Yeah, I was going to say that. I mean, now with performances, AMD is slightly better. It depends on the software, how we said before. And the TPD is slower than Intel. So Intel have the same performance as AMD, but needs more power. So the situation is turned around now. Before it was AMD was trying to reach Intel and needed a lot more power. Now it's otherwise. So yeah.
That's actually really funny, because it never has been that way. Intel was always we are efficient, we are future-proof, and now it's like, Yeah, AMD is future-proof. They just try to reuse what they have been using for 5 years now.
Yeah, I mean they always have Skylake, so it's the same architecture as 2015. So
it's impressive that they are still competitive.
Yeah,
I mean AMD could totally knock them out right now.
I mean Intel is really good in optimizing more than AMD.
But what if AMD would now do 7 nanometers with 300 watts TDP?
Yeah, they could try. It would be fun. Yeah.
I mean, maybe Intel is better at stabilizing it right now, the high clock rate. Time to change to AMD.
Yeah. Also,
yes, I'm really hoping. I mean, I use a lot of Apple products, and I really hope that for the MacBook Pros and stuff like that, that they start to switch over to AMD because it's so much more efficient.
Also, I have my whole gaming PC gaming work setup based on AMD. I always were a fan of AMD, but yes, for 8 years, 7-8 years, they didn't have any chance on the CPU market against Intel. So I'm really happy that they're gaining again market and that they have improved so much.
That's really cool.
So yes. Okay.
Half an hour later.
Yeah, it was.
Let's talk about something different.
A lot of news and stuff to talk about these CPUs, but yes. Also, okay, we can talk about the new version of SD cards now. Also, it's not so much to talk about, but
it's really nice. Still,
they have released the specs of the new SD Express card. It's the version 8. So it goes up to 4 gigabytes per second of speed. Almost it's 3,994, something like that. Yeah. So let's say 4 gigabytes, and that's huge speed. I mean, for an SD card and micro SD card, that speed is wow. I mean, you can play video games on it on mobile or on Nintendo Switch in the future if there is Nintendo Switch 2, which support with
Nintendo Switch Pro.
Yeah, that will support that. And also if you make a lot of videos, I mean 8K
and everything what you do, 4 gigabytes is nice.
Yes, I mean, without any problems, because if you want now to do 8K video recording in slow motion, it can be hard for the...
Yes. You really have to take care that you are using the right device.
Yes.
And even the Red Dragon, for example, it's using those Red Mags, I don't know what they're called. In the end, those are SSDs, NVMe SSDs, because if you record 8K 60, you need SSD performance. SD cards, compact flash, that's too slow for now, today's standards. And
so, if you gonna use then this version 8, because the version 8 is using PCI Express 4.0 and also NVM architecture, so it's the speed like an SSD. So yes,
but
you have something small like that, and so small that has that single performance. It's huge.
Yeah, you can take that out of context, but okay. What I really hope with this is that when right now, if you want to get a micro SD card or an SD card which is really fast, it's really expensive. And what I hope is that this might be a shift, for example, from USB 2 to USB 3, because USB itself, it's a simple standard. And nowadays, many connections rely on USB 3, and it's not so complicated to introduce it into the system. And that's a really cheap but good gain of boost. It was 10 times the speed. You went from 500 megabits, or not even, to 5,000 megabits. And now I really hope this to happen for SD cards, that you have those. I just hope that the next 128 gigabyte cards, for example, don't become increasingly expensive, because then this new standard is not really helpful. I mean, if you now have an SD card with 1 gigabyte per second and 64 gigabytes cost you $1,000.
It's useless.
it's effectively useless, and I hope that how those tiny cards or those micro SD cards or SD cards, how they are made, I really hope that they make it possible that it is also cheap.
Yeah, so I think they will be expensive at the beginning, but yes.
Probably, like the same with SSDs.
Yeah.
And now SSDs are really cheap.
Yeah. Also, just to say that these are specs. It's not that they are coming out now, because the version 7, also it's quite fast, and it's still not available on the market. It will be available maybe next year, 2021.
Yeah.
There is the version 6. It's kind of hard to find them. I didn't find any on Amazon. So that's the UHS3. I didn't find any on Amazon or other stores. The UHS2, you can find them, not so easily, but there are some that you can buy. The UHS1 are the common micro SD cards that you can find everywhere. So yes, it's gonna take before we can actually use these SD cards, but the fact that that's possible, it's really nice also.
I hope they find their niche, you know?
Yep.
I mean, right now, do you need an SD card with 4 gigabytes? Where would you use it?
I mean, not me, but...
But I just say, at first you need the devices.
Yes.
They have to support it and their speeds. And then why would you need it right now? Right now, it's really for storage increasing.
Yes, but I mean, you can use these technologies on, for example, the Switch use an SD card.
Yes, but right now 1 terabyte and the current speed is totally enough. People don't care about that extra speed.
But I mean, okay,
I'm thinking,
if you are running a game with 100 megabytes per second, you can how can I say, load so many
by the way,
objects.
I forgot to switch topics here.
Oh, like that. If you have 4 gigabits, you can load more faster and a lot of more stuff per second. If you see the difference between PS4 and the PS5 with HDD and SSD, how they talk about, and also the new tech demo that we saw, it's impressive the difference that it makes.
They require a lot more speed. That's what you do. I mean, for example...
Also Spider-Man, just an example, Spider-Man, there was a video, the difference between HDD and SSD, and it was huge. Yeah,
that's definitely true.
So for gaming or mobile devices that are going to use these technologies, performance are improved. So
I mean, for example, the Xbox, the new Xbox One, Series X, what?
Xbox One, Series X.
Yeah.
Or
I don't care. They have this extra module that you can stick it in there, and it actually uses the same interface that the internal storage uses.
Okay.
So that you have the same speed with this external storage expansion. And that's what I mean. That's what I wanted to say about Xbox Series X. Yeah, thank you. That's what I meant. The niche for micro SD cards, and that's important. Consoles, PCs will be more demanding in the future. You easily have a current game which is more than 100 gigabytes in size. And wouldn't it be cool to have micro SD cards to have the role of storing games? I mean, they are really tiny. You can easily buy a small SD card. They are really tiny. You just put them into your computer and you have 4 terabytes of storage. Because also the new maximum is 128 terabytes.
Huge.
I mean, we will have to wait until this. It's just when SDXC has been released, they said 2 terabyte, and everyone was like, "What? 2 terabyte in a micro SD card?" And now we are reaching that limit slowly. I mean, there are already 1 terabyte micro SD cards. I don't know if 2 terabytes has already been reached on normal SD cards.
But 1 terabyte you can buy.
Now we need a new limit, and that's the new limit. And when we can really use it for gaming and for saving large files, that will be really cool. And that will be the niche of those SD cards. Because if you, for example, this camera that you are looking through right now, it can record 4K 30, and it would not profit from this new speed. And no one would care about buying those new SD cards. You really need the niche.
Yes.
And I really hope PC manufacturers and...
But I mean, maybe for the end user, there is not so much of...
But it will be important, for example, for Surface Pro tablets.
Yes, right. Or for embedded system. Imagine you can install Linux on a really small SD card and have such a speed as SSD. That's really bigger. So there is situation for mobile embedded devices, cameras, laptops, consoles that are going to use this new speed. So for the end user, not so much maybe, but for products that the end user is going to use, yes. So it would be nice. So.
And it maintains backward compatibility.
Yes, so if you have a slot that was for the older SD card, you can use it. Also, the devices don't have to. I mean, you can use these new SD cards with older devices. The speed is not the same. You're gonna use the speed that these devices are supports, but you can use it. So yeah.
I think this is really cool actually, because SDXC was not backwards compatible to SDHC, I think. What was it?
I don't remember actually.
I think the limit of SDHC was 32 gigabytes. And if you had a 64 gigabyte card, then of course you could not use it.
Yeah, you could have formatted.
But could you use, that would be interesting to know in the future. If you have a that's incredible, a 4 terabyte micro SD with this new standard, could you use it with the...
I think yes, but so the size is gonna be, you cannot use the full size then. Maybe you have to format the SD card in the right format. It's gonna use another format, and yes, if you have 4 terabyte and the device just supports 32 gigabytes, you are going to just use 32 gigabytes because the device cannot reach the other memory allocation. So yes.
Let's see and hope that the standard will be more common
years, I hope
in the
that
future.
we are gonna use these SD cards.
Okay, let's switch to the next topic, shall we? Oh, well, of course, if any one of you has a question, of all you free people, feel free to write it into the comments. Yeah, good to ask for a question and then switch to the next topic. Please don't ask any questions if we're in the next topic. No, of course.
No, it's a joke.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Wait,
yes.
is it?
New topic.
New topic for an old device.
What?
Seriously?
Okay.
That's not a question.
Okay.
Banned. No. So actually, this is not a new topic, but it's just something that I was dealing with this week. What's it like to use an iPad Pro from 2017 in 2020? Because I was looking for a new iPad some time ago, and I found out that this exact iPad, 2017, 10.5 inches iPad Pro, is actually a really nice device if you want a fairly cheap but powerful iPad. Because, for example, if you have a limit of $600, you could look into the iPad Air, or it's even $700 if you want it with 256 gigabytes. But you have only the audio on one side because the speaker is only on one side. You have the good CPU, yes, but you don't have the 120 Hz refresh rate. You don't have the very good screen. You don't have the very good brightness and color range. And actually, this is a really nice device if you still want to buy an iPad in 2020 for a low price. So why is it so good? The 2017 iPad Pro, which I'm also I'm using right here, it actually still carries good hardware for 2020 because you still have your 4 gigabytes of RAM. I know this is not so much for a device. If you would buy a Surface Pro with 4 gigabytes, that's not usable. But for a highly optimized iOS device, that's totally fine. Because even the current iPhone 11 Pro has 4 gigabytes. Just put that up. iPhone 11 Pro RAM.
I don't think you have more than 4
Yeah, it's 4 gigabytes of RAM. And I mean, the iPhone 11 Pro, it's a new device. So, yeah. We're from Switzerland. If you're interested into that. Where was I?
The iPhone 11 has
the 4 gigabytes of RAM. So that's absolutely usable. How could the Surface Pro 6? I mean, I think you really have to take care of comparing, because iPad Pro runs iPad OS, and Surface Pro 6 runs Windows.
Yes, I mean
so you cannot do a direct comparison. I mean, if you look at CPU, I would just guess that the iPad Pro is probably better. I'm just guessing, because the CPUs of Apple are very good.
Yes.
But you cannot run Photoshop of Windows on the iPad Pro, for example. So it's really hard to compare it. But I would say they are kind of different, kind of similar. If you, for example, compare them with in browser benchmarks, for example. I don't have browser benchmark results right now, but at that point I think they would be really similar if you, for example, compare Safari to Edge. But yes, it's hard to compare. So I will just continue. With the model, for example, that I got for $500, it's around $500. You also get 256 gigabytes of storage. You get 600 nits of brightness, which is really high. You have no problems using the iPad Pro in bright sun. You have 120 Hertz refresh rate, and even just for that, it's just really nice to use because it has such a high refresh rate. It has the 4 speakers. It has, which makes it really usable if you want to watch a movie, and it has 30 watts fast charge. That's also totally underestimated, because underrated, I mean. Because you can actually use this kind of like a laptop, because it has the good speakers, it has a good display, it has 30 watts of charging, so you can charge it quickly.
Yes.
It has also USB free. Through Lightning. But the Lightning connector actually uses USB 3.0, which all the other iPhones are not using. They're using USB 2.0 speeds. And it makes the device just really usable.
Yes, also you can use it, also it's a tablet that you can use as laptop if you are just doing researches, email, taking notes or stuff.
For that, it's totally fine.
And that's perfect. I mean, it's a fast tablet. It's really powerful because I mean, also, even if you have lower specs when compared to devices such Surface Pro or other tablets, you cannot compare it because it's run on iOS, and iOS it's really more.
It's developed for touch.
Yes.
It's completely developed for touch.
Yeah, also that it's really optimized. So you know which OS you are going to run. You know which what model this is, and so you can really work directly with the CPU, knowing what you have to do. This is not going to happen on Surfaces or other devices.
I actually got a CPU comparison in Geekbench.
Oh, nice.
For example, here we can see the results of Microsoft Surface Pro 6 with an Intel i5. You can see it here, Intel i5. And it has 4 cores, 8 threads, 1.9 gigahertz or 3.6 maximum. And it has a result of 890 points single core and almost 3000 points in multi-core. Now for the iPad Pro, this is Geekbench 5, right? This was Geekbench 5 as well, I hope. Yeah, Geekbench 5. Now for the iPad Pro, you have very similar results. I mean, the single core score is for this part really important because when you are browsing, JavaScript is using single core performance. So you need a good single core performance or your website will lag. And besides that, multi-core performance of course is important as well, because when you're having some heavier load or using multiple apps at the same time, it will work fine. But that's why I say, I mean, for iPad usage, just slight work, the iPad Pro is totally fine, totally usable. Yeah. And I mean, this is the 2017 iPad Pro. Let me just show you the benchmark of the 2020 iPad Pro. That's really impressive, actually.
Well,
but is it the latest? It's not even the latest, but just take a look. So, I mean, when you compare just CPU performance, iPads totally win, because the ARM processor that Apple is doing, they are so highly optimized.
Yes.
They totally crush.
Yes, also you have to consider if you are using Windows or Android, these OS have to run on an incredible high number of devices. Yes. So the OS cannot optimize for just one CPU, ARM CPU. It's optimized that it works for a lot of CPUs and a lot of different models. On Apple, there is just this model, and you build the OS directly for this CPU. So yes, the software optimization make a huge impact on the performance then. That's also the reason because you cannot compare Android devices and Apple devices. Android devices use 6 GB or 8 GB, or also 12 GB of RAM. The new Apple use 4. The new iPhone use 4 GB, and the performance are the same, if not better.
Much better, much better.
Okay.
If you have synthetic loads, they're much better.
They're better.
No advertisement.
Yeah. It's for that. It's the software optimization, and you cannot put up. I mean, Apple devices are always gonna win for software optimization. So.
And as ARM 1999, the Surface Pro X. That's when we're talking about comparing it directly, because you cannot compare it directly, because if you try to do x64 software on an ARM, it won't work because it's not optimized that way. Yeah. But why do you say it sucks? You have it your own. Why did you buy it? And that's why I say it's hard to compare them. You really have to take care of specific usages, and then you can compare them there. Yeah. If you compare Photoshop performance with an iPad, it's hard because the iPad Photoshop app is completely different. I would not. It's hard to compare.
Yeah,
so for me, the iPad Pro, it's just for. When I'm at the cafe, I just want a very lightweight device where I can type on. The iPad Pro from 2017 has the smart keyboard. It has no touchpad. That's okay. I don't need it for that reason, because, for example, I tried to do some photo Photoshop work
Okay.
with Affinity Photo, and yeah, I can do that much quicker on my Mac Mini.
Yeah, okay, of
because
course.
I have the mouse, and then I can do detailed tasks can be done much better. But if it's just typing, responding to emails, browsing, simple photo editing, for example, Lightroom on iPad is just fine. And for all those tasks, this iPad is totally usable.
Yeah.
So, so the processor is getting old slowly, but I think for this and next year, the iPad Pro 2017 will still be usable. And I think it's also a bit difficult actually to get one. If you want one, you really have to take care. I mean, the price is $500 for 256 gigabytes and LTE as well. It's very good if you find a very good device. But I also today I found one for $650, and it was a new sealed device with 512 gigabytes of storage. And LTE, and that's really cool actually. That's a really good price, because if you want the same with the newest iPad Pros, you pay at least the double amount.
Yes, and the price is really cool. I mean, really low for what you get with this device.
Okay, well that's for the iPad. When using Pro X and opening Gmail in Chrome, good luck, it will crash 100%. Yeah, but you're probably using x46 Chrome, and that's why it's so slow. I think if you use Edge, which is ARM optimized on your Pro X, I think that will probably run fine, wouldn't it? I mean, tell me, have you tested it? Because I think the Pro X, Surface Pro X, it's really optimal. It should. Never ever will I use Edge.
Why is hate against Edge? I mean,
it's getting better, and it's actually Edge is using Chromium already.
Yes, they switched to Chromium.
But I know what you mean. If I'm using Windows on my Windows tower, I always use Chrome.
Me too. But I mean, Edge is not bad. I mean, I use it sometimes. No, it's not bad. I mean, it's a good software. I mean, a good web browser.
But you're saying even if it's optimized for ARM64, but that's what you buy when you buy the Surface Pro X.
Yes.
You buy an ARM device, a Windows ARM device, and you really have to use the optimized ARM software. That's why I don't like the Surface Pro X, because it's a nice device. It looks really nice.
I mean, it's
but it's ARM on Windows. Like what?
Yeah.
I buy a Windows because I want to run x64 software.
Yeah, for me the Pro X was more an experiment and to start something new, because as Windows want to go on ARM, because ARM is the future, I guess.
Way more efficient.
For devices, laptops, it should be all go on use ARM. So Windows is trying to go on ARM. Pro X was one of the first experiments, I guess. I don't know, but so it has these huge problems. But yes, I hope Windows will go better with that. They always have problems with the first devices concept. Yes, but I hope they will not abandon this journey that they have taken, and that they will improve this.
Yes. Yeah, I was just reading what you've written. Yeah, seems just like that. I think about the Pro X, I kind of remember my time when I was trying to use an iPad more professional. It was not possible. I mean, and this is kind of the issue that you run if you try to use your Surface Pro X professional. You can't. That's why I have this iPad Pro, because I only wanted to use it for not professional stuff. For all the harder workload, for example, streaming, I use a MacBook or a computer at least, something that is more powerful.
Okay, but also ARM 1999. So you tried to code on the Pro X. How was your experience?
But that shouldn't be so bad.
No, I mean, which tools did you use, and how was
also,
the experience?
can you run the Linux? They have subsystem on the Pro X.
I don't know.
That would actually be really cool if you could use like the actual ARM power in Linux, that would be cool.
Yes.
Talking to the Angular
just
department.
talk about a moment of the Linux subsystem. It's really cool. I mean, I use it on my PC. You can use.
Let me change the topic.
Just.
But yes, it's really cool.
Yes, and now Windows has also made a terminal. Windows Terminal. It's a new terminal, and it's really cool. It's usable. And then they have also there is also a package repository for Windows. It's called Chocolately, and you can install programs using the command line. And it's much faster than going to the website and download the software. Yeah. When I built up my PC, I installed Chocolately with PowerShell, okay, and I installed 20 software in 3 minutes. I mean, you can just type code and you have the software what you need. Finally, you can use package repository also on Windows. That was missing. Okay.
But what are you programming? I mean, you said you're programming. What exactly is it? Is it just some HTML or is it some Java?
JavaScript actually.
I was talking about Java.
Okay.
You don't have to tell me that.
No, yeah, okay, but you said it was not that I know that you know that. It was more on the audience because you said because a lot of people.
I know. I mentioned HTML.
You said HTML and Java. And it was what because it's a lot of people say Java for JavaScript, and it's two completely different stuff. And I'm a Java developer, so I always get a little bit angry when people confuse Java and JavaScript because JavaScript for me is shit.
You're getting off topic of our off topic.
Yes. Okay.
Oh, he's programming with Java. So.
Okay, nice.
Issue
and what?
Issue solved. What he's programming.
Yes, use Eclipse or IntelliJ. Because, I mean, if you use Eclipse, I think it's normal that you have problems because Eclipse has problems on its own. If you use IntelliJ, it's a really good software. So.
Okay.
Yeah, that's true. So, I don't know if there is an IDE that works on ARM, that's good. So, yeah.
So let's get to the next topic. But thank you for this off-topic discussion regarding the Surface Pro X.
I used Eclipse for 1 year. I hope finally switch to IntelliJ. Really glad of this choice.
Yeah.
But yes, okay, we can change to the next.
Yeah, I do web development, so Java.
No, JavaScript. Go back and development.
Okay. So next topic and last topic. We are already at 1 hour and 3 minutes.
Yes, but
okay.
It was fun.
So, new Surface headphones. There have been a few new ones. So, first thing that we will cover are the new Surface headphones 2. They go for $250, and in my opinion, they're pretty nice. I mean, for the price.
Do we have some?
Yeah, of course. Of course. Let me just get it. I mean, if you compare them with the AirPods Pro, which cost $280, and you can get those for $250, and they're actually really nice. Here. So that's how they look like. And besides, they have those rings on the outside that I will talk about in a minute. USB-C, thank you very much. They have an audio jack in, so you can actually use a cable.
Yep.
To how's that cable called? Audio cable?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't remember. But
you can use an audio cable if you want to use that. You have a dedicated mute button, which is really helpful in Corona times where you have home office and maybe you want to use this headset for talking. Then you can also just press on it and mute yourself, which is really nice in some conferences. And of course the power button, because why not?
A question?
Yeah.
Is there some touch on the device that you can touch on the side of the buns, or how to call it?
So sorry that we've been away. I know we're streaming in 720p today, and still it won't work flawlessly.
Yes.
I don't know why.
But
I
also,
even set the bitrate down to 4,500 kilobits.
yes, I mean, probably the Mac cannot somehow manage this stream, or it's a network problem.
Yes.
But also we are going to change our setup for the streaming.
Yes, definitely. So we can also do 1080p 60.
Yeah, so we will see next.
Yeah.
We have a Windows machine dedicated for that, so we will see how it's going to be.
Okay, so back to the topic. Yes, you have swipe actions with your headphones. Let me just go back to the article. I really hope that they feel nice. I mean, this looks really interesting, the opening for the ear. Then what else did I write down? The prices, I think, good in my opinion. They're not as good as those high-end Sony headphones you have for $300 or $400.
Yeah,
Dollars.
I have these headphones.
Yes, but I mean, it's Microsoft. It's their second headphones, and they are already competing very well. That's what I mean.
Yes.
And you can also connect them to multiple devices. So if you're on your laptop hearing some music and someone calls on your phone, you can just pick up on the phone, and the headphones will automatically switch to the phone because it gets a higher priority.
That's really nice. Yeah. Okay, that's
cool. I have headphones right now which have the same feature. You can connect to multiple devices, and that's really nice. That's really nice because it's fluently. You don't have to switch the device, or you have like dedicated desktop headphones and dedicated phone headphones.
Okay.
That's actually really nice.
There is also noise cancelling on these?
Yes, and they also have noise cancelling.
Okay.
So you have the left and the right headphones, and you have a ring. I showed you there already.
Yes.
Where is that? You have a ring here, and actually you can turn the ring, and I don't know if it's the left or right one, but on one side you can turn the wheel for the volume.
Okay.
And on the one side you can turn the wheel for the ANC.
Okay.
So you can really, how should I say? It's really intuitive.
Okay.
You don't have, for example, the headphones I have right now, they have a button. You have to click on it. You have to click on your phone, on your ear, to make it louder. And it's so uncomfortable because it's really pressing on your ear through the headphones. And that way it's just this movement.
Okay,
it's so nice. It's
because
really nice.
I have the Sony H1000 XM3, sorry, XM3, and yes.
Everyone would have understood that.
Also, wait, Sony H1000 XM3. Yes. And the price I paid them 280 maybe, so the price is almost that, but I bought them like November or December.
Yes.
And yes, also you have to adjust the volume, so do that.
That's swiping action. And
that's really annoying. It's not good. Also the swipe for changing the song, it's working good. It's not perfect, but it works quite good. But for changing the volume, it's a little annoying. The cool stuff is that if you press, you have the whole hand on the right head side, it goes automatically on increasing the volume outside. So if you can have noise cancelling, and so you are typing on the computer, you are working, writing some piece of code, someone comes to you, want to talk about you, you just do so, and you hear him very well because it's gaining volume outside.
Yeah, it's pass through.
Yeah, and it would be nice also to have.
I think it has it as well, and you can control it with this wheel.
Also you have to control it with the wheel.
Yeah.
Maybe it's better because you have then to be so the whole time you talk with this. So
I really like the concept, and also the Verge who did the review. It's really intuitive.
Okay.
With this wheel, it's really, they say it's a satisfying feeling.
Okay. Yeah. Also I prefer the look of the Sony actually, because the Microsoft are really round, and I don't like it. It's feels a little bit cheap. I don't know. Also not the materials, that the look. I prefer the Sony. It's more around. a little bit different look. I found it better. So, okay,
So yeah,
earbuds.
no, not yet.
Sorry.
Also the headphones have 20 hours of battery life, which is okay. It's not so much. Actually, I mean they are big. Your Sony's
also have 18 or 20 hours.
Okay, I heard of some having 30 hours.
I also don't remember actually because I use it quite a lot.
Yes.
So they are quite fast to charge. So usually when I came into, because I use these headphones in the office, so if I see they are almost over battery, I can leave it 30 minutes and they are charged up to 50% or something like that. I don't remember quite the number, but yeah, you just don't use 30 minutes the headphones and you can use it again. So I don't know how much a full charge actually longs because I don't.
Yeah, I'm just trying to look it up. And I get no information. Oh, 30 hours.
Okay, 30 hours.
And even without ANC, you have 38 hours. And that's what I mean. The Surface headphones too have 20 hours.
Okay.
And that's why I'm saying that's not so much.
No.
I mean, it's better than 2 hours. Because that would be really annoying. But 20 hours is totally usable, but could be better. And you have to tap to play and pause, the swipe for the next song,
like the Sony.
and you have the rings for the voice
I
and for
really
the audio level, and you don't have to swipe as well for the audio level because
that's really nice.
that would be really annoying.
An improvement against the Sony.
And yeah, in general they are good sounding.
Okay.
From what I've read, you don't. When you buy $350 headphones, you hear that they are better, but for $250, they're totally fine. So they're actually a good choice. And that's what's, again, impressive because it's Microsoft. It's their second piece of headphones and they did it well.
Yeah.
So next would be the Surface Earbuds, and they're a little special story. So the earbuds look like this.
Well, okay, they don't seem so comfortable actually.
And actually, as far as I have read, they are comfortable.
Okay.
They come in this little box and they are really round. That's how they look when you have them. Yeah, what the hell is that?
I don't know if I like it or not. I mean, it's...
So they look really funny. I'm actually curious if they have the swipe action as well. Yeah, they have the swipe action as well. And I mean, it screams to swipe. I mean, why else should they have this huge surface?
But they're small. I mean, how can you swipe well? It's going to be a little bit complicated.
It's a bit more complicated than with the other ones. Actually, from what I have read, they are really... not really comfortable, but they're comfortably enough and they hold very well. So you can easily move around, do a little bit of sports, and they should not fall out.
Yeah, that's really important.
They also look really big. I mean, I better hope that they fit good.
Yes.
But the thing with these earbuds are, they have been announced in 2019 in October, and it took them up to May until they have been released, and you can buy them now. And they cost $200. They have no active noise cancelling. They have no wireless charger case, and that's getting a thing right now. Like, the competition is there, and they're very good. And now Microsoft tries to introduce a new product which costs $200. That's not so.
No, it's not cheap.
It's not cheap for those headphones, and they.
But
you get a good basic. That's why I would say they are very average. If you really want them, $200, it's okay, it's affordable. They deliver good sound quality. The battery life is good. You have 8 hours for the earbuds and 24 hours for the charging case. So that's working fine. They have a good fit. They have a good sound. They have a good microphone. You have all the points that you need for headphones. But you really need to like that style. I mean, if you look
I
at it.
still don't know if I like them or not.
I mean, this really looks, yeah.
It looks quite futuristic. I mean, I don't feel that it looks awful, but I don't think they are nice.
Yes.
And it seems more than earrings. How they call it?
Earrings.
Earrings
Yeah.
than.
It's like
AirPods,
it's like earrings in your ear.
It's really funny,
Yeah.
but I don't think they are awful. So let's see how they are in real life.
Yes. So what else did I write down for that? Also, by the way, both the headphones and the earbuds have a Surface Audio app. Oh, by the way, Imak still wants a giveaway.
Yeah. Yeah, we will see for a giveaway in the future.
But of course, why not?
Yeah, I mean,
we should maybe do some research, find something to give away. If it will boost our channel.
yeah, I mean, we can look forward to that.
Yeah.
But it takes some time, so yeah.
Okay. So to end this regarding the Surface, once you have a special app where you can do equalizer customization, firmware updates, all that kind of stuff. And yeah, beyond that, that was our last topic. Yeah, 1 hour and a little bit more. I cannot see it now because I restarted the stream.
1 hour and 50. We started at 7.
So thank you for watching, of course. I hope, or we hope, that you like the topics. I know.
I just.
We introduced a new game stream on every Monday, so be there to tune in. Every Monday, 7 p.m. Central European Time, we will do some game stream. Right now we're at Borderlands and we're trying to not get wrecked.
And to understand how to drive.
Yeah, how to drive, yeah. Yeah, Borderlands 3 should be answering your question. We are currently trying to get a Windows machine set up so we have better streams, so we can do also Nintendo Switch streaming, so we can do better PS4 streaming, because right now we stream with the PS4 itself and we're limited to 720p. Also for this stream right now we cannot do 1080p streaming, so really try to improve there. And game stream Monday 7 p.m.
Yes.
Be there. Thank you.
Then yes, then always join our Telegram group. We will send the link right now. Also our website DIGITLZ.com, where we post some blogs about. There is also an article about the iPad Pro 17, how it's to use in these days. Yeah, there are some blogs that are coming next days. Yes, then as always we have a suggestion box in the Twitch page, so if you have any suggestions or also questions, why not? Or something that you want to see, streams maybe about programming or other stuff, or some games.
Tell us.
Tell us. So we are developers, I'm backend developer, he's a front-end developer, so you have both sides. And yes, then what else?
Did we forget anything?
Oh.
Yeah. Please follow us as well.
Please follow.
Please follow us.
Please.
We need followers. No,
Okay.
you can find us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Just search for DIGITLZ. The same how it is written in Twitch.
We are going to improve our content on this social media.
Right now we are really active on Twitter.
Yes. Instagram not so much.
Not so much right now.
But
we'll be there.
Yes.
Some point.
We will put content also there.
Yeah.
So yeah, stay tuned.
Okay, then we're done.
Yep. Okay.
Thank you very much.
And see you on Monday or next Saturday.
Yeah.
Ciao.
Bye.